Barbara Chai with the Wall Street Journal, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with Khaled Hosseini, the author of The Kite Runner, 1,000 Splendid Suns, and his newest book, And the Mountains Echoed. Thanks so much for joining us, Khaled.
My pleasure.
So in your new novel, you focus on family again, but specifically sibling relationships. Right. What is it about that bond between brother and sister that inspired you to create Abdullah and Patty?
Well, it's something I've always been interested in because I'm the oldest of 5, so I have 4 siblings myself, and it's a relationship that is so ripe with dramatic potential because there's inherent conflict and there's love and there's envy and jealousy and kind of contempt and reconciliation, and all the great themes of life are there in that relationship. So, and I didn't set out to write a book about siblings. I wrote the story of Abdullah and Patty, the siblings, at the heart of the novel, but it just kind of halfway through I saw that it was shaping up to be a book about that particular kind of relationship.
Let's talk about the interesting narrative structure of the novel. The architecture of it is different from your previous novels. You have interwoven stories that kind of ripple out from this brother-sister relationship. Can you talk about that?
That's very well put. I mean, the novel is not a straightforward narrative the way my first 2 books were. It's shaped like a tree. There's a trunk, which is this love story between a boy and his little sister who are separated from each other at a very young age, rather traumatically. And then the book just kind of spreads out as it progresses. It starts to touch on the lives of a great number of other characters who are affected by and connected to this central event early on in the novel. So it's kind of like spreads out, and the book ends up being like a mosaic, a collection of mosaics that put together form one big picture.
Some of your readers have written in to ask some questions, and one of them asks, compared with your previous 2 books, which both climbed to the top of the international bestseller lists, what was the biggest challenge for you in writing And the Mountains Echoed?
Well, the biggest challenge of writing this book was really what we just spoke about, was the structure of the book, in that there wasn't 1 or 2 protagonists that I could just follow throughout the whole book, but it was rather inhabiting a different character kind of with each chapter and finding the connecting fiber between all these different storylines so that they would all make sort of a cohesive narrative, and it was the trick was to illuminate what had happened before in subsequent chapters and allow each chapter to build on the previous one so that you get this big sweeping broad picture at the end.
Now obviously it's a good problem to have, but being #1 on the bestseller list, is it something you have to forget or put away from your mind when you're writing?
Well, I think that if you think about the marketing commercial side of writing while you're actually working on a book, that you're doomed. You really have to be able to shut off all that background noise. And for me, it comes fairly naturally because once I start to write my book, I kind of descend into this sort of mental bunker where I'm really secluded, and I'm so entangled in trying to figure out this puzzle to kind of discover the mystery of the story and to work out my plots and my character that I just become absorbed in that, and then the rest of the stuff just becomes background noise.
Now, your first book, The Kite Runner, has been adapted into film, and 1,000 Splendid Suns is also slated to be made into a film. What's the status of that?
There is a lovely screenplay that's been written by Steve Zalian, who won an Oscar for Schindler's List and has done a number of brilliant screenplays. But thus far, all the elements haven't come together, meaning financing, director, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of out there on a back burner, and there's nothing imminent happening with it right now, although there are a few leads that might become something a little bit more solid down the line.
Another reader asks, how do you handle writer's block?
Well, this is going to sound really facetious, but I actually kind of welcome it because when it happens, I don't think that I've run out of ideas, like what people would think that's what writer's block is. You just block, you don't know what to do next. It's really that I've reached an impasse, and something about the way my approach to the story isn't really working. So I see it as an opportunity to take a step back and take a more panoramic view of what I've done so far and figure out why is it that this isn't working suddenly, and to try to start thinking about outside the box and maybe try a different angle. And it's often after these so-called writer's blocks that I've suddenly had an insight about something, and the course of the book has changed in a way that I didn't see coming at all.
This is another interesting reader question. How much do you feel you've improved over the years from each book, and what is it that helps you improve?
Well, that's up to my readers to decide whether I've improved or not. I do know that I've changed somewhat. Whether for the better or for worse is not for me to decide. But I do feel that in the Mountain Echoes is a little bit more ambitious book than my previous two, both in the sense that it has a more complex structure, larger cast of characters, interweaving kind of plot lines, movements in time back and forth and sideways. But also because I think morally it's a more ambiguous book. And there's more gray in this book rather than the kind of archetypal black and white notions of good and evil, for instance, that existed in The Kite Runner. In this book, I think the characters speak from, and their behaviors take root in places that are a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more complicated. And so hopefully that does make them more interesting as well.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, Khaled.
Well, it was fun.
We've been talking with Khaled Hosseini, and the book is called And the Mountains Echoed.